Mark Kacs has a wonderful source of problems. And one of the problems he posed is what's called Wiener sausage. That's an interesting problem. It has to do with, uh, the idea is that you have a Brownian path
Mm-hmm.
that wanders around, and there are traps. These traps are randomly distributed according to Poisson distribution, and each trap has a radius around it. And if you go within the radius, you die.
Right.
So you want to know what's the probability of survival for a long time, T. So you can see that there are two ways you can survive. You can survive by carefully avoiding the traps. You can survive by praying that you don't have any traps. It turns out that in terms of loss deviations, it's the prayer that matters.
Oh.
Okay? What it means is that it's conceivable that you have a large region without traps.
Right.
It may not be where you are, but somewhere out there there'll be some large region
Right.
without traps. So you make a beeline there and rest comfortably there. The price you have to pay for resting comfortably in a large region that you found is much smaller compared to the price you have to pay for avoiding traps all the time. Because then you have to be always alert.
Right.
Here you have found a nice place and you can rest free. And to actually prove this intuition
Right.
requires some large deviation theory, some scaling, and also fair amount of complicated analysis. Because when you do the scaling, the traps become very small. And while it's not that difficult to prove that this strategy is a good strategy, to prove that there is no better strategy is harder. It turns out that one of the interesting comments that Mark has made, well, if this problem is too difficult for you to solve, then you can do the same thing for random walks. That would already be significant.
Right.
But it turns out that the random walk problem is harder because you have to prove convergence to the by center limit theorem to Brownian motion, and it depends on the Brownian motion result for the answer.